sorry this is late, but the 2014 regular season in the books. The playoffs start tomorrow. And I got to get this out of the way. This is way too late. I do apologize. Patriots losing to the Buffalo Bills, 17-9. But the Patriots' 35-game home win streak against AFC opponents is officially over, and that's the bottom line. The Patriots' home win streak against AFC opponents is over. And Buffalo is 9-7, their first winning season in 10 years. But to be fair, though, they were facing the Buffalo Bills were facing the Patriot backups, or at least Garoppolo in the second half. It is what it is. Vikings defeating the Bears 13-9. Boring ass fucking game. Just a boring ass fucking game. Trestman is fired, as we all know by now, along with Phil Embry, aka the dumbass who hired Mark Trestman in the first place. Bears finished 5-11, their worst record in 10 years. And the Vikings finished 7-9. I had a feeling the Vikes were going to win this game, but whatever. Alright, Saints defeat the Buccaneers 23-20. And because the Buccaneers lost, they secure the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Other than that, and the Buccaneers actually had a lead at one point, but New Orleans came back, and of course, Tampa Bay let New Orleans sweep them once again. Saints finished 7-9 and finish off their most disappointing season ever. Moving on. Well, not ever, but you know what I mean. Colts defeating the Titans 27-10. Not much happening in this game, other than Kobe Fleener catching a couple touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken, against Tennessee. Andrew Luck only played the first half, and Matt Hasselbeck took over in the second half, as I pretty much predicted. I mean, but the Titans sucked anyway. So what did it matter? Colts finished 11-5. Titans finished 2-14, but because the Bucs won, they get the number 2 overall pick. And okay. Oh, Chiefs beating the San Diego Chargers 19-7. Justin Houston, 4 sacks. Sacking Phillip Rivers 4 times. 22 sacks, which is only 1.5 sack away from the NFL record, if I'm not mistaken. But he breaks Derek Thomas's franchise record for sacks in a season. Congrats to him. And like I said, ended up leading the NFL in sacks. But the San Diego Chargers blew it. They had typical. I mean, Phillip Rivers played like shit. He in crunch with the season on the line. When the fuck does that happen? He usually thrives under those conditions, and he couldn't today, or he couldn't Sunday. So the Chargers out of the playoffs. Both teams are 9-7. Chiefs sweep the Chargers for the first time since in a long time, anyway. That's got to make Chiefs fans a little bit happy because apparently Chiefs fans hate Phillip Rivers as well. I don't know if they hate Phillip Rivers, but they certainly can't stand him. But it is what it is. Sorry, Chargers, you're done. As simple as that. Ravens defeating the Cleveland Browns 20-10. And of course, the Browns were down to their third-string quarterback by the name of Connor Shaw, who played a lot better than Manziel, who had a better debut than Manziel did against Cincinnati. Okay, camera, stop fucking with me. Okay, come on. I don't have time for this shit. But the Browns lose another game, their 5th in a row, to end the season at 7-9. Joe Flacco in the fourth quarter, made a big difference in the fourth quarter. Throwing 2 touchdowns to put the game away, essentially. But it's the fucking Browns. It is what it is. Browns are 7-9 and once again out of the playoffs. Ravens 10-6 and are in the playoffs. Facing Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Texans defeating the Jaguars 23-17 in what turned out to be a meaningless game. But J.J. Watt becomes the first player in NFL history to have 2 20-sack seasons. No, that's right. No player in the history of the National Football League has done that. Yeah, he's going to be an MVP candidate, and people are going to have to deal with it. Let's face it, this Texas team wasn't that talented. They're still a better team than I gave them credit for, but they're still not that talented. I mean, they didn't go 9-7 necessarily because of their quarterback here. It definitely wasn't their offense, other than Arian Foster. That was it. Andre Johnson had a pretty down season, which was to be expected. I mean, it is what it is. But Texans finished 9-7. Jaguars finished 3-13, and once again, an inept franchise. Jets beating the Dolphins 37-24. Big day for Eric Decker. Over 200 yards receiving, and Geno Smith. This is how 158.3 passer rating, which is the highest that any quarterback can get in a game. What can I say about that? And he's the first quarterback to have a perfect passer rating and a 0 passer rating in the same season. Congrats to Geno for being the most for personifying. Well, not personifying, but being an inconsistent quarterback. Unbelievable. Plus, this was Rex Ryan's final game as a Jets head coach. Who knows what the future holds for him? Should be interesting. Cowboys beating the Redskins 44-17. DeMarco Murray getting Emmett's franchise rushing yards record in a single season anyway. And Des Bryant getting T.O.'s touchdowns record in a single season. Franchise record, that is, of course. Tony Romo had another outstanding season. Cowboys 4-0 in December. Holy shit. This is the same Cowboys that usually suck in December. Not the case this year at all. Holy shit. And Cowboys finished 12-4. Redskins 4-12. Robert Griffin scored a touchdown on the ground for a change. I mean, wow, it's been a long time since that happened. Because he didn't do it at all in 2013. So it's been a couple years. Anyway, moving on. Eagles defeating the Giants 34-26. Pretty fun game to watch, at least from a highlight package standpoint, anyway. Yeah, Ruben Randall, the Giants finally stepped up. Man, that receiving core of 2014, should be interesting what 2015 holds. But yeah, Jordan Matthews on the Eagles side. Of course, Sanchez finally getting a victory at MetLife Stadium, which of course was his former home when he was with the Jets. But it is what it is. Eagles sweep the New York Giants and finish the year 10-6, but they missed the playoffs because they lost to the Washington Redskins. And the Giants finished 6-10, but Tom Coughlin's coming back as was expected. It is what it is. Going back to Kansas City, 0 touchdown catches by wide receivers this year. That's fucking embarrassing. And that's why the Chiefs are not in the playoff picture. It is what it is. Okay. Panthers defeating the Falcons 34-3. Panthers becoming the first team in NFC South history to clinch back-to-back divisions. So congrats to them, but it was a garbage fucking division. Really garbage division. And the Falcons, of course, they fire Mike Smith, which is not which wasn't really a surprise. the surprise is that they kept Thomas Dimitroff, but okay. Oh yeah. And apparently the day before the game, the Falcons hired a searching firm for their new head coach, meaning that the Falcons were going to fire Mike Smith anyway, even if the Falcons made the playoffs. It could be just a freaking rumor, but judging by the way the Falcons played, and they played like utter shit in front of their home crowd. I'll just say this: the Falcons management should have done that earlier, or waited till the end of the season. But Panthers 7-8-1, and the Falcons 6-10. Don't get it twisted. Mike Smith did need to go, but someone else should have gone as well. But we'll wait and see what happens in Atlanta in the future. Seahawks defeating the Rams 20-6. It was Rams had a 6-0 lead at one point. What a joke. Russell Wilson throwing an interception, but he bounced back nicely, of course. Marshawn Lynch scoring a touchdown, and another touchdown on defense. And because the Seahawks won, they clinched the NFC West. And as far as the Rams go, well, Jeff Fisher can't even master 8-8 anymore. He's three very disappointing seasons for Jeff Fisher, which whatever. But Seahawks clinch home field advantage. Here we go. Cardinals defeating. No, my mistake. 49ers defeating the Cardinals 20-17 in Jim Harbaugh's final game as the Niners coach. And it felt like the final game of the night for Jim Harbaugh as well. Just by watching the last few minutes of it. Well, let's just see what the Niners do. But Jesus Christ, just remember where the Niners were before Jim Harbaugh took the coaching job in 2011. Just think about that for a moment. Langley played well. He played better against the Niners than he did against the Seahawks, but it doesn't fucking matter at this point. The Cardinals 11-5, and they have to start the playoffs on the road in Carolina, where I hear it's gonna fucking rain tomorrow. Great. All right, NFC North championship game. Packers defeating the Detroit Lions 30-20. And of course, Aaron Rodgers dealing with the strained calf. Rodgers threw a touchdown pass and then fell down to the ground. Which obviously raised some concerns at Lambeau. But in any event, what a crowd that was in Lambeau. And of course, Ndamukong Suh in hot water again, or whatever the fuck, or at least he was in hot water, because he did step on Aaron Rodgers' leg. The problem was he allegedly did it on purpose, which is not out of the question because it's Ndamukong Suh. Fanboys will defend him to the bitter end, but it is what it is. So he was initially suspended, then it was reduced to a $75,000 fine, or whatever the fine is. But what the fuck ever. Either he did know about. I did like the excuse after in the press conference that his feet were cold or whatever, which could be possible. Who knows? From one angle, yes, it looked like he did it on purpose, but then when you look at the whole tape, it's kind of hard to tell, so I can understand why the arbitrator overturned the decision. It is what it is, though. All right, moving on quickly. Packers 4-12 Lions 11-5, and I'm glad I changed it to the Packers. Let's just put it that way. This one I am not happy about, and that's my own fault. It was my own fault. Broncos beating the Raiders 47-14. I initially had Denver, but then, like a dumbass, I changed it to the Oakland Raiders. Fucking stupidest pick of the season. Next to picking Oakland to beat Houston, of course. But in any event, so Raiders finished 3-13, and it looks like Raiders are going to be looking for a new head coach. They're not going to keep. They're not going to let Tony Sparano be the permanent head coach. They didn't want to make that mistake again, I guess. Just like with Tom Cable, but although whatever there. I am concerned though about Peyton Manning. Yes, it was 47-14, but Peyton did not throw a touchdown pass. Something's wrong with Peyton. Ever since the game against the Rams, Peyton has not been himself. So, the Rams really went after Peyton. I mean, that Broncos offensive line, which is not as good as people think it is. The reason why he's not getting sacked so much is because of Peyton Manning, because he doesn't hold the ball too long. At some point, the Broncos are going to have to protect him a little bit better. Clady's been a big disappointment in 2014. I don't know what the fuck's up with him. Frankly, get the fuck out of here with that. But hey, it is what it is. At least the Broncos have a bye week. They could use that bye week. So I'm happy the Broncos won. I'm pissed at myself for making that stupid god-awful pick change. No excuse there. It's one thing if the Raiders were mediocre, if both teams were mediocre, but no. I am concerned though about Denver moving forward in the playoffs. Steelers defeating the Bengals 27-17. Antonio Brown, a touchdown return to put the Steelers up 7-0. And then after that, at the end of the game, Antonio Brown catches a touchdown pass to ice the game for the Steelers. Antonio Brown led the NFL in receptions this past year by a freaking landslide, 129 catches. Compare that, and the second guy on the list is Demaryius Thomas, 111 catches. Fuck's sakes. I mean, of course, nowhere near Marvin Harrison's record, which in itself is ridiculous. But the biggest concern, of course, is Le'Veon Bell, and it's been official. It's official. Le'Veon Bell is out for tomorrow night's game against the Baltimore Ravens. But then again, Steelers didn't need a running game when they torched the Ravens earlier in the year. But it's still a big concern. But the Steelers, their offensive line has improved drastically. They've improved dramatically. You can thank Mike Munchak for that. Why did people think the Steelers? I'm glad I even said in my mid-season adjustments that the Steelers were going to win the division, and they did it. And I'm glad I changed this pick as well, because holy fucking shit, that would have been a dumber fucking pick. And how about Pittsburgh and Green Bay? Hey, what a crowd that was in both of those games. It really was. All right, 10-6 to finish off the final week of the regular season. It's playoff time. Let's get it started. Till next time, later, fuckers.